or two more videos in between Christmas and New Year's, but obviously we doubled the output for the last 3 or so weeks, and work in the 2 weeks leading up to closing for Christmas just kind of got crazy. That has also meant that there haven't actually been any members videos for December, but don't worry, I have blocked out a time where I'm gonna record in the new year, so there will be 4 members exclusive videos for January to make up for it. I'd never want to shortchange you guys. I know it's only $2 a month, but you know, to some people that's still a good amount of money, so I wouldn't want you guys to feel like you've been forgotten. You haven't. I've just been so busy. So there'll be 4 members exclusive videos in January. But in tonight's video, I thought it'd be a good opportunity to kind of just sit down and reflect on the year. And how we're going to do that is we're going to have kind of like awards a little bit. I've done a top 3 for various categories just to kind of prompt and force myself to kind of remind myself about the year. So the categories are as follows. We firstly have some screen categories, so my favourite TV show, favourite movies, which we won't dwell too much on because we recently did a video reviewing 2024 movies. On-screen moment of the year. Then we have favourite albums, favourite YouTube channel, favourite ASMR channel. We then have favourite ASMR video, favourite people of the year, favourite places I visited this year, and then top 3 moments of the year. So when we're doing like favourite TV shows, not the TV show I think was the best, it's my personal preference. And then we'll chat a little bit about the channel, what this year has looked like really. I'm actually really happy with the lighting at the minute. The ring light that I usually use, to be honest, tripped over it and it fell and literally shattered. And I'm yet to order a new one, so this is the small ring light that I usually use behind my monitors whenever I'm doing videos at my desk. But I kind of like it. I might just use that more often, to be honest. Yeah, anyway. This is going to kind of be quite rambly in nature. I do like doing these kind of more rambly videos, and I think the next video in the new year will also just be like a ramble, kind of like summarising my Christmas holidays, and then fill you guys in on plans I've got for the channel in terms of videos, streams, etc, etc, etc. And then we'll get back with the normal facts, conspiracies, scary stories, all that good stuff. But let's get into category number 1. Why not? So, my favourite TV shows. Now, honourable mention, I have literally, like this evening, just finished watching Black Doves, which I thoroughly enjoyed. I thought it was very, very good. Nice to see Keira Knightley back in things again. I think the show we're going to start tomorrow is Day of the Jackal, because I've heard pretty good things about that. Got like the world's weakest lemon squash. But anyways, my favourite TV shows. Number 3, I have House of the Dragon. I really enjoyed this. There were some episodes that were super slow, but sometimes I do like a drama show that is a little bit more slower paced, and considering that the last season of Game of Thrones was evidently so rushed, it's kind of nice that they're really taking their time and really like establishing the characters. In at number 2, I've got The Boys. I think The Boys is in my top 3 TV shows of all time. The Office US is up there, and The Boys is close. A lot of people saying season 4 wasn't as good. I think 4 was definitely better than 3. I think 2 is the best with the Stormfront stuff, then 1, then 4, then 3, in my opinion. But yeah, I think season 5 is the last one, and we've got some spin-offs. We've got Gen Z Part 2, season 2, and one about Stormfront and Soldier Boy, I think, which, Soldier Boy content, I'm there for it. And at number 1, and it is a resounding number 1 for me, is The Penguin. I thought this show was just unbelievable, and somebody Penguin related will feature in the awards, another award later on. It's actually got 3 awards, but yeah, every single person, amazing performance, great story. I was talking about it to my friend the other day, and I said it's the first TV show in I don't know how long where there wasn't a single episode where I was bored. Like, every single episode was good. Like, even the worst episode was still chef's kiss. Yeah, amazing series. And I hope they do a season 2, but equally, it would be good if we could explore some other characters and whatnot in that world. I wasn't even that excited for the Penguin, but now anything they do in that Batman universe, I'm gonna be waiting. So, favourite movies, I'm gonna just rinse through these, because if you want to see a more detailed rundown video, check my video from about a week ago. Number 3, I've got The World Robot. Number 2, I've got Wicked, and number 1, June 2. Pretty straightforward. But we're gonna round off the TV and film awards, and go with on-screen scene of the year. So it can be TV or film. So in at number 3, I've got Defying Gravity from Wicked. I mean, this is just so cool, like, just so good. I've listened to it an unhealthy amount of times, and I've seen the movie 3 times now, and even the 3rd time, that scene just it's such a good way to end a movie. And when she's like riding off and like breaks the sound barrier, oh, so good. Right, number 2, major Penguin spoiler. So if you haven't seen it, firstly, what are you doing? Secondly, click off now. Spoiler in 3, 2, 1. My scene of the year in 2nd place is when Oz kills Vic. I kind of thought midway through the series that he would do that, but by the time we got to the finale, I'd completely forgotten about it, and I just love that the show had the balls to do that. It was the best possible way to leave you hating the Penguin despite him winning. Going into the next Batman movie, like, when he started doing it, I was kind of like cheering, but also devastated because I would die for Vic. But yeah, really well done scene. I like his face when he's doing it. Oh, terrifying. And at number 1, we've got June 2, taking another top spot. I've got the scene, Ball riding the sandworm. Watching this on IMAX in Leicester Square, my brain couldn't really comprehend what was going on. And just everything about that scene is just straight up just awesome. It might be one of my favourite scenes of all time. Like, any movie, it's just uncomprehensibly good. Right. Favourite albums now. Now, if there's one thing, I feel like I've spoken about this in the past, maybe when I've done my my record Glass Animals, I Love You So Ever Much. I wasn't really a huge Glass Animals song, and it surprised me that Heat Waves was such a huge hit, because I'd actually argue it's one of their worst songs. I actually listened to this album accidentally, and it's really good. I'm really disappointed because I kind of really got into them the back end of this year to find out that they had just been touring in the UK, and they were fairly near me on my birthday, which would have been awesome, but I'm sure there'll be opportunities to see them. But yeah, really good album. And number 2, I've got Kendrick Lamar, GNX. A lot of people aren't like a huge fan of Kendrick's like recent music. A lot of people didn't like Damn. I love Damn. I actually think Damn is my favourite Kendrick Lamar album, which I know is controversial, but I think I've just listened to it so much. It's so good for if you want to like chill out. And there are a lot of songs on GNX which are like that as well. I really like it. I like both songs with SZA. Squabble Up is probably my favourite, but then there's a few on there that are just like really good, like music while you're working kind of thing. And then at number 1, I've got 21 Pilots, Clancy. 21 Pilots are my favourite music act, so not just band, just any act of all time. I'm going to see them May at the O2, which should be good, and I think my Spotify Wrapped, all 5 of my most listened to songs were songs of this album. I think Navigating was number 1, then Oldies Station, and then they were obviously my top artist. If you're interested, actually, I can get it up for you. I didn't really want to do a dedicated. I debated doing a dedicated video, but then when it was like all 21 Pilots, I was like, that's so boring. I think I was in the top 0.05% of listeners for them. Now my question is, how do I access my Wrapped? Here we go. Please don't blast out. So my top 5 artists were, if we can get to it, here we go. So number 1, 21 Pilots. Number 2, Nothing But Thieves. Number 3, Raw Alejandro. I'm a big like reggaeton fan. I listen to quite a lot of Raw Alejandro, Rosalia, Bernier, those kind of people. And number 4, Fox Stevenson, and then number 5, Glass Animals. So a proper range, but yeah, I think Clancy could be their best album yet, in my opinion. Right, favourite YouTube channel. Now this isn't like general, this is like from this year, so in terms of what I've consumed this year, who are my favourites, and same for favourite ASMR channel as well. So favourite just YouTube channel, and number 3 I've got the Escape Pod. They're really more of like a TikTok, like they really create the podcast to create TikTok clips, but it's I forget their names, which is seriously bad of me, but they just talk about movies and nerd stuff, and they're just great to listen to. I think they've only got like 28k subs on YouTube, but I'll listen to every episode, and even like when they're talking about stuff I don't watch, like Avatar, The Last Airbender and stuff like that, I'll listen because I just enjoy listening to them chat shit, basically. Number 2, I've got the Wafflin podcast. This is a UK podcast featuring Joe Weller, Theo Baker, and Luke Martin, I think is his surname, but just Luke. I was so happy when this was coming back. I feel like it sounds so cringe, but it really is one of the realest kind of podcasts out there. Like, they just talk rubbish, but I think because I kind of grew up with Joe Weller, not literally, he's not my friend, but like just enjoy listening to them have a chat. And then at number one, because the thing is, apart from ASMR, I don't really watch a lot of YouTube anymore, to be completely honest. I'll occasionally watch Mr. GG, who's like a reaction comedy channel. I used to love pretty much it as well. Sidemen sometimes. But speaking of sidemen, my number one is Big Wedge Golf. Now, I've never played like 18-hole golf in my life, but there's something about watching these guys play golf that I just love, and I have no intention of picking up golf either. But there's just something about watching them play that, yeah, I've given them number one spot for this year. So moving on to the more important category. Favourite ASMR channel. So, at number 3. To be fair, a couple on here would probably be in my like top 3 ever. At number 3, I've got Prim ASMR. Or she's changed her name to Mrs. Honey and Magic, I think. I've watched her for years, and she's just got such a great voice for ASMR, like, and what I love about her is she'll just post, like, videos she wants to do. She won't, like, if she wanted, she could get so many more views by just not selling out, but just doing, like, the keywords, like, roleplays all the time, but she does, like, basically whatever she wants, and I will watch pretty much everything, because she's just got such a good accent and good voice for ASMR. So that's Prim ASMR, but a little something on screen. And number 2, and this is somebody I discovered this year, is ASMR and R, I think is how you say his name. Again, I'll put it on screen. He does pretty much strictly Pokemon content, like Pokemon roleplay videos, deck building videos, and it's just so good. I mean, combining Pokemon and ASMR, I'm there. But when you do it as good as him, he's elite. Please check him out. And then at number 1, the ASMR gamer. I mean, I've watched Ben for an abnormally long time. And I'm still just not bored of listening to it and watching his content. And again, he's one of those ones where he could upload anything and I'll watch it, because I think what he's done so amazingly is he's built like this community of people who are just like engaged in him, kind of thing. And that's such a good way of going about it. And most of his content is just him sat in front of a camera whispering, rambling, that I'm there every time. And he's definitely my most watched of the year. So now, keeping with the ASMR theme, I've got favourite ASMR video of the year. So number 3, I've got Amy K ASMR VHS 90s Store Clerk. Now, I'm not a big roleplay guy, I'm more of a kind of fact video or just having like a chat, collection videos, like those kind of things. But man, this roleplay video is so good. Like, she just captured that like kind of nostalgia, and it was so like, I think it's actually like Shy Video Store Clerk, and the way she does it is just so good, so relaxing. Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed that one. I've watched that one a few times. Prim ASMR next, tracing DVDs. I love a bit of tracing, and I'm so shit at it. But Prim is one of the best that I've seen at it, like tracing the DVD titles and things like that. Like, oh, it's so good. I think the video might only be like 13 minutes long or something, but I've got a good few hours out of that. And at number 1, Southern ASMR Sounds, organising in an abandoned house. Now, I spoke about this video with somebody on stream, does, she goes in with her camera and basically goes around each room, tidying, sorting stuff into boxes, because this place has just been left with crap everywhere. And she like cleans, hoovers, and then sorts everything into boxes neatly, and then she like narrates what she's doing, with like ASMR wise, and it's so good. It's so good. Her channel's amazing. She also does like going into like pound dollar stores and like rearranging the shelves so they're all like neat and tidy. She's fantastic, and that video is really good. Next up we have my 3 favourite people of the year. At number 3, I have Jeremy Sarmiento. You may be wondering who he is, and it's because he gave us this moment. This was one of my favourite nights of this year. Like, do 1 down against Southampton, and then we score basically with the last kick of the game. He scores that goal, and he was just cemented in my heart forever. And that was the night really that we all knew, oh my gosh, we're actually going to go up. We're actually going to go and get battered in the Prem every week. But that doesn't matter. A lovely man. I was able to give him a good old hug on the last day of the season during the pitch invasion. But legend. And number 2, I've got Colin Farrell. By far my favourite performance of the year this year. And then I'm just a massive fan of him. He's one of those actors who, whatever he's in, he'll watch. In Bruges is one of my favourite comedy. Well, it is a comedy, like, of all time. It's just a fantastic movie. I think it's where he's at his best. But I just love the way he comes across in like interviews and stuff. I feel like he'd be good to go and have a pint with, do you know what I mean? And at number 1, I've got Kieran McKenna. Need I expound? He took us up. Simple as that. For those of you that are unacquainted with the football world, Kieran McKenna is the manager of my team, Ipswich Town, and he got us promoted because he is a genius. Okay, next up I've got the 3 favourite places I visited this year. And number 3, I've got Bath in England. I'd always heard Bath was nice, but I didn't expect it to be as nice as it actually was. It was lovely, and the weekend we went, it was like blazing hot sunshine. We booked into this Therme spa place, which isn't the Roman baths, but it has like a rooftop pool with like a view of the city, and then like indoor bits you can do, and it wasn't even that expensive. We just did it for 4 hours or so, and that was lovely. We went to a lovely Thai restaurant. We went to this restaurant called Joya, which is mine and mine. I just had to cut because my stomach, but it's still going. Yeah, this restaurant called Joya, where, and this isn't unique to this place, but it's the best one I've had, where they bring you like a hot stone and you cook your steak like at your table, and it was just some of the best food I've ever had. And yes, so many nice little bars by the river. It's just a lovely place. Number 2, I have Cologne. I went to Cologne for the Euros this year and just had a lovely time. Cologne's a really nice city, obviously filled with people drinking, but we still managed to find time to go and see the sights, and the cathedral is beautiful, and loads of amazing little pubs, and everyone was super friendly. Actually, I thought they'd be a bit of British people, you know, get out kind of thing, but everyone I encountered, locals wise, we stayed in the Turkish quarter, I think. And that was a night where Turkey won a game, and it was just absolute carnage. But yeah, Cologne, great city, loved it. And at number 1, I've got Prague, just one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to. Everything really fairly priced, so much to do. Like I'd happily go back I did or happened to me this year. So at number 3, I've got Across the Spider-Verse in concert. I went with my work friend, and it was just incredible. Firstly, as we're walking up, who do I see outside? But Daniel Pemberton. I can't even say his name. Daniel Pemberton himself. For those of you who don't know, this guy writes the music. He does the music, scores it. For the 2 Spider-Verse movies, the man is a straight up genius. And I managed to get a picture with him somewhere. Literally, I was the last person, and I think I kind of got the queue a little bit. There were people kind of waiting, but I could see it was starting to go in. But I was like, I idolise this man. I listen to his music all the time. I wasn't missing that opportunity. So I just screamed, "Daniel, I love you." I didn't. And then the concert was fantastic. Daniel Kaluuya was there. At one point in the intermission, I was sat in the sofa area next to 2 of the producers. Oh no, 2 of the directors of Across the Spider-Verse. It was just insanely cool. Insanely cool. In number 2, I've got Promotion Day. Specifically Promotion Day with my mum. Not to bang on about Ipswich again, but one of the reasons why I have such an affinity with the club is firstly because my granddad is the whole reason why I support them. I used to go to games with him and my mum. My granddad's unfortunately passed, so going to Ipswich games, especially home ones, is a really lovely way for me to still feel kind of connected to him and make sure his memory doesn't fade at all. But now I get to enjoy, going to games with my mum. She's a bit of a hooligan, to be honest. She loves going to away games. We've been to pretty much all of them this year. Went to I'd say most of them last year as well. And the last 2 or 3 years, we've just obviously had some great memories on this crazy ride from League One, and being able to sort of share that moment with her running on the pitch. She didn't come in the mad scramble, because I genuinely think she might have died. But after I made it out, after I'd hugged a load of the players and whatnot, I went back to where our seats were, and I saw she'd already gone off the pitch, and I was like, "Come on, come back on, let's get some pictures." And we went and had some pictures in the goal. If I can remember, I'll put them on screen. But yeah, just that day was just perfect. And then I went home and got rat-arsed. Simple as that. And then my number 1 moment of the year was getting our new kitchen. Now, we've lived in this house now for... it'll be 2 years in May, so a year, just over a year and a half, right? And when we moved in, everything was in a livable condition, but the kitchen was disgusting. It's not even necessarily the design of it. I'll put before pictures on screen. It's not necessarily even just the design of it. It just always felt dirty. It wasn't as much the way it looked, it was the way it felt. So oh my gosh, the day, and I'll put after pictures now, the day this got finished, it didn't feel real. Sometimes I forget what it looked like before, and I just stand in it and I look around, I'm like, wow, how far we've come, kind of thing. Yeah, it was kind of a stressful process. I mean, as part of the process, I've probably taken years off my life, because me and my fiance's dad, we ripped up a load of tiles and just to properly gut it to save us some money. Turns out probably asbestos tiles that we've just inhaled, so there's probably little shards of asbestos in my lungs right now. So, but c'est la vie. You live and you learn. Well, you learn and you die in this case. But it might not be. But yeah, that was a good moment. just some fun little awards just to kind of recap the amazing year. The amazing year that I've had, really, and it has been a really good year. I just wanted to see if I could get the roundup for the channel. Here we go. So, I think my target for this year was to hit 40k subs, and we've gone so close. Like, I literally think we'll hit it in January, which is just a bit annoying, really. Like, if you're not subscribed, subscribe. But I really can't complain. 1.7 million views this year. Like, I know there are some people that get that on one video, but 1.7 million views. That's just like ridiculous. 42,800 likes, 2,151 comments. That's just ridiculous. And they're the things that I love. Like, my F1 video is currently like really popping off a little bit, and I asked a question at the beginning, who's your favourite F1 driver and team, etc., and like so many people have been replying to it. Like, it's so nice to see. So 78 uploads. My top video was the Space Facts video, 27.3 thousand hours watched. It's just been amazing. And yeah, really, next year I'll talk more about this in the next video. But next year I want to do more consistently longer videos, streams, shorts, TikToks, blah blah blah, all of that business. But we'll talk about that. But thank you everyone for your amazing support this year. Hopefully you had a really nice Christmas, and I wish you all a really happy new year, and I will see you all in 2025. So